If you want to build a profitable business you own as quickly as possible, it must meet 5 criteria. The first criteria, long term. If you're building a business that's built for short-term cash, but is not going to be still viable months or years from now, in my opinion, you're wasting your time. If you want a good, solid business that can replace your income, that can exceed your income, that can fuel the lifestyle you want to live, you want a business that'll be around at least 5 years. To me, 5 years is the minimum, because we'll talk about this in criteria number 5, but there's another important reason for this. Second criteria, profitable, which sounds obvious, but a lot of times it's not. It's very easy to get confused by what's going on in Silicon Valley, for example, where people are doing investor pitches all day long, raising money, burning through a bunch of cash, and hoping at some point they make money. That's good for them, and there's been some extremely successful businesses built with that model, but for most of us, we don't have that luxury. We have to build a business that's actually going to be producing cash flow and profits for us almost from day one. Maybe you put a few $1,000s into it, which we'll talk about in criteria number 3, but beyond that, you need this business to actually make money for you, not just hope someday that you'll get enough users and at that point you'll be able to start making money. You need to be making money as quickly as possible, ideally within the first 6 to 12 months. Third criteria, low startup cost. This is important because then you don't have to spend all your time going out there, raising money, begging people for cash, friends and family member, or taking a bunch of risk by putting a bunch of your money into it. You want a business that can be started ideally with as little as a few $1,000s, maybe at most $5,000 to $10,000. Anything beyond that, if you're starting a business completely from scratch and you've never done this before, no experience in the industry, no experience building businesses, in my opinion, you're taking too much risk. So start a business that you can build almost in entirety until it actually becomes profitable with just a few $1,000s. Criteria number 4, a business you can build in 1 to 2 hours a day. The reason this is important because in all likelihood you have a job or you have another business, and in that case you don't want to have to quit your day job to start a business that may not work at the end of the day. Hopefully it will, and if you keep at it long enough, it eventually will. But if you're building a business that you have to put so much time into that you have to quit your day job, and if it's not profitable, if it's not changing your life in a month, for example, you have to go back to your job, you're likely going to throw that business away and you're not going to stay at it long enough to actually be successful. So part of this is being able to stay in the game long enough until you're successful. So you want to build a business that can be built in about an hour or 2 a day where you don't have to quit your day job to do it. The 5th and final criteria, cash flow, and here's the critical part, and cash out. What do I mean by this? So you want a business that can be producing cash flow for you as quickly as possible, ideally within a few months, but at most 6 to 12 months. A business that you can actually be putting money into your pocket every single month from the cash flow from the actual business. Very important criteria. Also, you want a business that has real value, a business that can be sold and you can cash out at some point. All these criteria end up working together, because if your business is not a long-term focused business, nobody's going to want to buy it. Because if it's going to be completely obsolete or no longer viable in 3 years, why is somebody going to buy it from you? Because they're just going to buy something that's worth nothing. But if you're building a good, solid, long-term business that can be viable for 5, 10, 15 years, then they'll be more than happy to pay you for that money so you can get all that cash in your pocket while they go on and they reap the future cash flow rewards. So you want a business that can be producing cash flow for you in the short term, and a business that's sustainable and viable so that somebody will actually want to buy this thing from you, and you can take all that money, and hopefully it's a life-changing amount of money, millions of dollars you can put in your pocket and use to basically be financially free for the rest of your life. Now there's a business model that I discovered about 10 years ago that's even better today. You get to own the brand, you own the business, and it meets all 5 of these criteria. It involves creating and selling your own brand of high-quality products and using Amazon to do 90% of the work for you. Best of all, the events of 2020 have created a huge demand, unlike anything we've ever seen before, on Amazon. Now I want to show you how to crack the code and reap the rewards. So join me for a free training where I'm going to show you each step to build your own profitable business with this model. Now click the link above or below this video now to grab your spot. Do not miss this opportunity because it's not going to be available for long.